Cats don't fear dying. They fear dying alone, and most owners never realize it. Every loving cat owner learns their cat's daily rhythms over time: the morning sunspot stretch, the quiet grooming by the window, the little patrols through the hallway at night, and the soft head bumps that feel like tiny compliments. These routines make cats predictable in a comforting way. They may not speak our language, but they speak through patterns. And that's exactly why the final stage of a cat's life is so difficult to recognize. Nature trained them to never break character unless absolutely necessary. Cats are both prey and predator in the wild. Showing pain, slowing down, or acting vulnerable invites danger from bigger animals. Even when living indoors, far away from predators, that survival instinct never fully switches off. So when a cat's body begins to shut down, they don't cry, panic, or announce it. They adapt quietly. This adaptation leads to the earliest signs, the kind most owners shrug off as just getting older or being lazy, when in reality, they may be the first whispers of the end. Sign number 1, the withdrawal phase. A cat that once enjoyed company may begin seeking distance. Instead of sleeping on your chest or curling near your feet, they slip into corners, closets, or under furniture. This isn't rejection, it's instinctive self-preservation. Sign number 2, the slow, routine collapse. Healthy cats follow micro-routines. When the end nears, those patterns dissolve slowly. The cat doesn't patrol at night, doesn't greet at the door, or stops grooming after waking up. It looks subtle, but it's biologically significant. Sign number 3, the sensory softening. Sounds, smells, and movement no longer trigger the same reaction. Toys lose appeal, and even favorite foods don't create excitement. It's not boredom, it's sensory dimming. When a cat is nearing the final stage of life, the body begins sending messages long before the mind does. These messages aren't dramatic or loud, they're mechanical, biological, and easy to overlook unless you know what you're looking for. Unlike humans, cats don't vocalize discomfort or seek comfort through tears. Their bodies simply adjust to declining energy, weaker organ output, and slower circulation. To a casual observer, it might look like aging. In reality, it's the body shifting into preservation mode. The following signs aren't about personality, they're about physiology. When they appear together, they form a picture that most owners only recognize in hindsight. Sign number 4, breathing rhythm changes. Breathing is one of the earliest indicators. A cat nearing the end may breathe faster, shallower, or with their abdomen helping the process. You might notice the belly moving more than the chest, or long pauses between breaths after mild movement. This happens because oxygen exchange becomes less efficient, and the heart must work harder to push blood through the body. Owners often confuse this for stress or heat, not realizing it's a metabolic struggle. Sign number 5, weight loss that isn't diet related. Even when a cat continues to eat, they may lose muscle mass around the spine, hips, and shoulders. The fur hides it well until you run your hand down the back and feel bone where muscle once lived. This occurs because the body begins consuming muscle for energy when appetite or digestion becomes unreliable. It's one of the clearest physical signs, yet one of the most commonly misunderstood. Sign number 6, grooming shut down. Grooming is a cat's pride. When the body weakens, grooming becomes non-essential. Fur may mat, clump, or appear greasy. This isn't neglect, it's energy conservation. Sign number 7, temperature extremes. Because circulation falters, paws and ear tips may feel cold, or the cat may seek heat aggressively. Others stretch out across tiles if they're internally overheating. For a healthy cat, food isn't just nutrition, it's ritual, routine, stimulation, and safety. Cats eat to anchor themselves to the world. They follow a schedule: sniff, taste, chew, groom, drink, rest. When a cat nears the end of life, those food rituals begin to break apart, not because they lack interest, but because their body is quietly reprioritizing energy. What makes appetite-based signs tricky is that they don't always look negative at first. A cat might still come to the bowl, still sniff the food, still ask for familiar smells yet not eat. To most owners, this looks like picky behavior, when in reality, it's the body declining intake because it can't process nutrients the same way anymore. Sign number 8, food interest without eating. One of the earliest metabolic signs is when the cat approaches food out of habit, but walks away after smelling it. Smell activates memory. This is food. But the organs respond with hesitation. Sometimes the cat licks once or twice, then stops. This gap between interest and consumption reveals the body's conflict between instinct and capacity. Sign number 9, the sudden preference switch. Some cats nearing the end suddenly prefer soft, warm, or liquid foods. Dry kibble becomes difficult to chew or uncomfortable to swallow. Broths, tuna water, or hand-fed wet foods may temporarily return appetite. This isn't fussiness, it's survival efficiency. Soft foods require less chewing force, less water, and less digestive effort. Sign number 10. Water becomes more important than calories. Another overlooked sign is a cat drinking but not eating. Hydration becomes a short-term comfort strategy. The body prioritizes fluid regulation over calorie intake because fluids help manage pain, temperature, and organ stress. Others do the opposite, and stop drinking entirely, a sign the system is shutting down. Sign number 11. When eating becomes difficult. Some cats begin gagging, drooling, or vomiting after meals. Others chew slowly or tilt their head to swallow. These micro-adjustments suggest that the body is rejecting intake, not emotionally but mechanically. For most cats, life is a constant exchange of signals: slow blinks, head bumps, grooming gestures, and quiet patrols through the territory they consider home. But when a cat enters the final stage of life, something subtle and profound begins to happen. Their relationship with the environment starts to change. They no longer look outward for stimulation, they turn inward, as if preparing for something only they can understand. These are not dramatic behaviors. They are soft, respectful, almost ceremonial shifts in how they occupy space. These goodbye behaviors often confuse owners because they appear peaceful, not desperate. They are easy to misread as mood swings or quirks, when in truth, they are rooted in instinct and dignity. Sign number 12, the return to isolation. One of the oldest feline instincts is to hide when vulnerable. A cat nearing the end may begin spending time in places they previously ignored: behind curtains, under beds, inside closets, or in quiet corners of the yard. This isn't fear or depression. In the wild, hiding protects dying or weakened animals from predators. Indoors, the instinct remains, but the stakes are different. The cat is seeking solitude, safety, and low stimulation. Sign number 13, the sudden affection burst. Strangely, some cats do the opposite before withdrawing. They become more affectionate, more physically present, and more vocal than usual. They may sleep closer to you, follow you from room to room, or groom your hands and face. This sudden closeness often lasts only a short window, sometimes hours, sometimes days, before fading into isolation again. Many owners later interpret this behavior as a quiet expression of bond and gratitude. Sign number 14, the nighttime farewell. Cats nearing the end sometimes wake at night not to hunt or play, but to observe. They sit in familiar doorways or hallways with half-open eyes, as if performing a final patrol. It's calm, non-reactive behavior, almost like a silent inventory of the home they loved. Sign number 15, letting go of conflict. Territorial tensions fade. A cat that once defended space from other pets stops caring. They share bowls, beds, or blankets without protest, because conflict demands energy they no longer have. Out of all the signs that appear when a cat is nearing the end of life, there is one that hides in plain sight, not physical, not dramatic, and not easily recognized. It's not the weight loss, the isolation, or the breathing changes, although those are important. The most overlooked sign is something quieter and more universal: routine detachment. Cats are creatures built from tiny, predictable sequences. They stretch before they walk, groom after they eat, patrol before they rest, drink after grooming, blink slowly during bonding, and follow invisible schedules shaped by instinct and environment. These micro-routines are not quirks, they are proof of a system in balance. They show that the cat feels in control of its territory, its body, and its day. When a cat reaches the final stage of life, those routines don't abruptly stop, they fade. A cat that once greeted you at the door stops showing up. A cat that groomed after every meal now lies still. A cat that patrolled windows at night stops checking them. A cat that stretched luxuriously after waking begins walking stiffly away from the bed, with no ceremony. These changes are subtle, soft, and easy to dismiss as tiredness or old age. But biologically, they reveal something deeper. The body no longer has the energy to participate in life's small rituals. Routine detachment matters because it reflects overall systemic decline, not just one organ or symptom. It doesn't require pain to exist, just low energy, low motivation, and metabolic slowdown. Most owners miss this because nothing looks alarming. There is no crying, no vocal distress, no dramatic collapse, just silence where a routine used to be. This sign isn't about behavior, it's about withdrawal from the world. When the routines disappear, the cat is quietly stepping back, not emotionally, but biologically. It's the softest goodbye and the hardest lesson to notice in time. When a cat reaches the final stretch of life, the world around them becomes quieter, smaller, and simpler. Their focus turns inward. The home they once explored, patrolled, and interacted with becomes a backdrop rather than a playground. Food loses meaning, toys lose purpose, and routines dissolve into long, uninterrupted periods of stillness. These shifts are not signs of surrender, but of acceptance, a natural transition that cats approach with dignity that often surprises us. One of the clearest late signs is the increasing sleep cycle. A cat near the end may spend most of the day in a single position, occasionally adjusting their body for comfort, warmth, or breath. Some choose a familiar spot, a blanket, a bedroom corner, a favorite chair, and remain there for hours. Others seek out cooler or darker places that offer solitude. They are not afraid. They are conserving the last of their energy in the only way they know how. During this stage, many owners feel an urgent need to help, fix, or prolong. It's a deeply human response born from love and fear. But cats do not measure love through survival time. They measure it through safety. If they choose to rest in your home, near your voice, within reach of your hand, it means you did everything right. They feel protected enough to let go gently. There are no dramatic dramatizations at the end, no cries for attention, no panic, no theatrics. Cats leave the world the way they lived in it, quietly, attentively, and with subtle grace. The small signs that remain, a blink, a purr, a soft exhale, are the last pages of a story they wrote beside you. In these moments, words don't matter, vet bills don't matter, routines don't matter, presence matters. Sitting with them, offering warmth, speaking softly, or simply being nearby is the greatest act of love a human can provide. Because at the end, a cat's biggest fear is not death, it's dying alone or afraid. And when they are with you, that fear never arrives. If this helped you understand your cat even a little better, give this video a like and subscribe for more video that make us better cat parents every day.